And was there a point where he got into computers and internet and things like that? Because obviously he became an entrepreneur building Silk Road, one of the pioneers in Bitcoin adoption. Can you tell us about when maybe you saw, or you and the family saw, that he took a step towards being more tech savvy and things like that?
Sure. Well, just to be clear, he's not a computer programmer. Ross is not an expert in computers. He's a smart guy, obviously, but he was more trained in science, physics, and other sciences. I mean, but like most people his age, he knows how to do stuff on the computer more than, say, I do. And honestly, I didn't. I kind of was like, no video games. You can't play video games. I'm sure he did it at his friends' houses, but we didn't have video games in the house because we were encouraging his art. He's very artistic, and playing outside and that sort of thing. And finally, by the time he was 14, he bought him with his own money a used Nintendo from his friend. And I'm like, fine, I got him to 14. You know, he didn't spend too much time in front of a screen. And so at that point, but my understanding is he didn't build Silk Road. He was the idea person, the concept person. And in fact, the person, and it's on our website, freeross.org, Michael Wegand was responsible for the back end of Silk Road and the technical part and actually making it possible. And he was recently arrested by the same Southern District of New York, and he got 8 months. 8 months. And Ross has a death in prison sentence for having the idea, because I think the idea was what was dangerous or threatening. And and Ross is very philosophical, and he has a lot of ideas, and he's continuing to write about those and think from prison. For instance, an example is, and it's on medium.com as well as on our website, he wrote an essay called ZKANN, and I forget the full title, but it's basically trying to solve the problem of privacy on WhatsApp, but not allowing people who, go after children or traffic kids to use that privacy in order to hurt children. And so he was working on that. We ran it but he doesn't have a computer. He has no access. He hasn't been on a computer in over 8 years.
Wow.
Or even email. He doesn't have email, nothing. So he does everything in longhand. And we sent it to some experts, and they were like, this has promise. This actually has promise. You should develop it. But of course, he can't. And that's just an example of how Ross has so much to give and wants to give, but he can't because of the restrictions.